Welcome back in the second part, where we will try to extract text from the uploaded TXT and PDF files. The user will be able to upload multiple files and process them all at the same time. We will handle extracting the text from TXT files using native Java, but for PDF files we will use Apache PDFBox because it is not that straightforward to work with PDF files in Java. Let's start by adding the dependencies for PDFBox. Click on the build.gradle file, this one. Scroll down until you find the dependencies and paste the following line. Okay, so as you can see, we are using PDFBox for Android. Now click on the Sync Now button and wait for the changes to take effect. While that's being done, let's go back to the main activity class. To keep track of all the files that the user uploaded, we will add a new map where we will store the file name as the key and the file URI as the value, just like what I have done here. Make sure to instantiate this map inside the instantiate objects method. Okay, so I will go down below and I will add this. So we can see that we have file URI store is equal a new hash map. Make sure to import the necessary classes. Now go back to the onActivityResult method. This one. This is what the method that we worked on in the last episode. And here, after getting the meme type, remove the toast messages because we no longer need them. And start by checking if the map contains this file that we currently are testing or not. So here basically the map has a method called contains key. So if the user tries to upload the same file twice, we will show a toast message to tell him that you cannot upload the same file. Okay, so here is the toast message. Here we are saying the file already was added, so that the user will see this message and stop uploading the same file. If this is not the case, then we will add this file to the file URI store. So we will store it because we will add a button so that we can extract the text from all the files that the user uploaded at once. And because we are still here, let's just extract the file type. This is important because we are going to use this later when we want to store, for example, the files in the database. We will need this information later, but let's just do it now. So here we need to create this get file type, which will return basically a string. It will return PDF if the file is a PDF, and it will return TXT if the file is a TXT file. So let me just add it below this get file name method. So yeah, as I told you, this is simple. So here the get file type, it will test if the type is a PDF, it will return PDF. If it is a text file, it will return text. If it is neither PDF or TXT file, we will return unknown. This will never occur because remember that we are filtering the file dialog so that we only show to the user PDF and text file. Okay, good. So now we have the file type, and as I told you, we will be using this so that we can populate the right navigation drawer with the files that the user uploaded so that he can see them and remove them if he wants, and it will become handy if we want to store these files in the database. We will see these things in later videos. Now I will show you how to add a button to the right navigation drawer. Let me show you the finished project. So here you can see that we have this is how the right navigation drawer looks like. And I will just add a button quickly so that we can test, but in later videos I will show you how to design this. Okay, so let's go back. Here, so expand the app folder, expand the resources, click on layout, or right click on the layout folder, go to layout resource file. Here make sure that the root element is set to a linear layout, and that the file name is equal to right navigation drawer header. Click on OK. Awesome. So now just drag and drop a button, change its ID to say process files button, hit enter, refactor, and search for the text attribute. Let's change it. But before that, remember that we need to go to the strings file and add a new entry. Let's call it start process. Go back and use it here, start process. After that, remove this and make sure that the width of the button is set to match parent, and add a margin top equal to 32 dp. Finally, click on the linear layout and let's add 16 dp as padding to all corners, because right now the button is touching the sides and we don't want to have that. This is enough. Don't worry, we will come back to this layout in the future to add the other views and to change the color of the button as an example. But for now, just go back to the main activity class and declare this button as a new private variable. So here, let's go down, let's add it here, so private button, and let's call it process files button. We need to instantiate it, so go to the instantiate views method, and here we need to use the right navigation view to extract the header. This is the first thing, so let's do it. So yeah, remember that the right navigation view is basically this. So let me remove this and collapse everything. So yeah, this is the right navigation view. We are using this to extract the header. The header is basically this layout that we have created. So you can see that we are using right navigation view.getHeader. This will give us the header view, and by using this view we can extract the button. Okay, so as you can see, we are using the right header view and trying to search for the button that has this ID. Now we need to go back to the activity main.xml, click on the right navigation view and search for header layout, because right now we are not using the right navigation drawer header layout that we just created. Now when we swipe to show the right navigation view, this header layout will show and will show us the button so that we can click on it. Great, so now we have added our button, we have created and connected the header layout to the right navigation view. Now we need to add the on-click listener to the process files button. Remember that we have another method called setActionButtonListener. So here, just below the upload files button, let's use the process files button and set the on-click listener. Again, I will be using the lambda expression because it is easy to use and it doesn't take a lot of space. Inside the on-click listener, we will start by looking at the map and seeing if it is empty or not. So yeah, this is the first thing. If there is no file in the file URI store, there is nothing to do. So we will show to the user that no files are here to process, and then we will return because we don't need to run what will come later. If we have, let's say, a file to process, we'll start by disabling the process files button because we don't want the user to start the process multiple times. So let's just disable the button. So set enabled false. Then we will loop over all the files and process them. So let me show you how we do this. So basically we use this map.entry so that we can loop over all the entries in this dictionary or in this map. But before processing files individually, I will add a try and catch block because we might get some errors while trying reading those files or while processing them. So here let's type in exception and let's just print the stack trace. Okay, so let's stop here and create a new class specifically made to process files. You can see that currently we have over 200 lines of code, and if we keep typing everything in the main activity class, we will have a lot of code and it will make it harder for us to maintain the application. So let's just create a new class. So expand the Java folder and here click on Java class, and I will name this class file processor. Inside the class we will add a variable to store, so let's just make it private, to store the activity. After that we need to create a constructor. Let's right click on generate constructor and just choose the activity and click OK. After creating the constructor, we will create a method called process file. Let's make it public. This method will not return anything because it will just process the files. So public void process file. This method will take the file URI as an argument. Okay, so URI, file URI. For now, let's just keep it empty and go back to the main activity class. Here, before the for loop, we need to create a new instance of the file processor class. File processor equals new file processor. And to pass the activity, we can just type in this. Okay, so we have our file processor. So let's just come here and type in file processor.process file and just pass in the file URI. And as you saw in the beginning, this map stores the file URI as the value. So we can use the entry and get value. So this will return the file URI. Okay? Great. So now let's continue working on the process file method. First, let's extract the meme type, because to process the file we need to distinguish if it is a PDF file or a text file. After that, we need to create the input stream object. This object will help us read data from any file in a sequential manner. Here we are getting an error because we need to add the exception to the method, because as I told you, if there is any problem with the file, we might get some exceptions. So yeah, this is why we need to throw this particular exception. After this, I will create another class that I will name text extractor from file. I know that I am creating a lot of classes, but trust me, this will help manage the application and make the classes have few lines of code. Once again, right click on this folder and click on Java class. As I told you, I will name this class text extractor from file. It's going to be just text extractor, but I will keep it like this. Again, we need to store the activity, so let's just do it quickly and generate the constructor. Click on generate constructor and hit OK. After creating the constructor, we will create a new method called extract text from file. This method will take as an input the file URI and the input stream, and it will return a completable future. If this completable future is a new concept for you guys, then let me explain it in simple terms. A completable future provides a way to run tasks asynchronously. This means running a code in the background. This is important because we don't want to block the user interface. For example, for PDF files that contain a lot of pages, the process of extracting text might take seconds before finishing. During those seconds, we want the user to still be able to interact with the application. This is why we want to run long-lasting pieces of code in the background. And this is the role of completable futures in Java. Inside the method, we will start by extracting the meme type. We have been doing this a lot right now. After this, we will create a completable future that will contain the result, which is just the extracted text from the file. After that, we will test if the file is a PDF file or a text file. In the first case, we will call the extract text from PDF file, and here we don't need to pass in the file URI, we will just pass the input stream and the result future. If the file is not a PDF file nor a text file, we will show this toast message that tells the user that this is an unsupported file type, and we will return an exception. And at the end, when we get a result, we will return it, because as I said, this method will return a completable future. So now let's just create these two methods. Let's start with the extract text from text file. As I told you, we don't need the file URI. We are starting with text file because the process is easy, because as I told you in the beginning, we will be using native Java. We will not use any third-party library. First, let's use the completable future class and use the supply async method. The code will be inside this method because, as I told you, we will run the code in the background. Inside, we will create a new variable called text, which will store the extracted text from the file. Initially, it should be set to null because we don't have anything, because we didn't start extracting the text. And let's use again a try and catch block because we might get some exceptions. Exception E, and let's print the stack trace. Inside the try and catch block, we will use the input stream object to start reading bytes from the file URI. As I told you, the input stream reads data from a file sequentially. And here we are creating this buffer, which will store pieces of text in this array. Okay, so this is how we are doing. So we extracted the chunks, and then we are using the input stream to read them. After that, after reading the input stream, we can just close it because we no longer need it, and to free resources. And then the text will be set to what we have in this buffer. So basically, we are going to concatenate the pieces of texts that we have extracted using the input stream. Okay, so after this, we can just return the text. Now here, before closing, we have another method called then accepts. So here it will take the text, and we are going to use the activity to run this on the UI thread. Why are we using the then accepts method? As I told you, extracting the text from a file might take, let's say, 5 seconds. When those 5 seconds are completed, we can run a code inside the then accept method. Basically, the then accept method will add a callback to be executed immediately after finishing those 5 seconds. Okay, so here we are going to see if the text is equal to null or if it is different than null. So basically, we can just use the result future that we have as an argument and call the complete method with the text, because we have extracted successfully the text. But if the text is still null, we will return an exception. And this is how we do it. So we have this, the future will complete, but with an exception, because we didn't return anything, because maybe something was fired while trying to read the data from the file. And one more time, here I am running this on the UI thread because we have finished that long-lasting computation. I hope that this makes sense. Okay, so we have finished working on this extract text from text file. I'll just duplicate this and change text to PDF. And you will see that we will change just a few lines of code. So here we will remove this, and instead we need to create a new object of the PD document class. Okay, so let's just call it document, and so this PD document, it should load the input stream. Okay, this is how we do it. After that, we need to create a PDF text stripper, PDF, let's call it PDF stripper, new PDF text stripper. This PDF stripper will extract only text from the PDF file, because remember, in PDF file we can have images, tables, and a lot of information that we don't want. So we just want to extract the text from the PDF file, and this is why we are using this class. And how do we do this? Basically here, instead of using this, so you don't have that buffer, we will use the PDF stripper .get text, and here we just pass in the document. Finally, remember to close both the input stream and the document to free up resources. And the rest of the method is similar, so we don't need to change anything. Okay, so finally we have finished working on this class. Just close it, go back to the file processor. So here we stopped at this input stream. Let's so after instantiating the input stream object, let's just create a new object from the text extractor from file. Okay, let's call it like this, new, and pass in the activity. So this dot activity. And then let's use it to extract the text from the file URI. Remember that we need to receive a completable feature. The text is in a string type, is a string type. And here let's call it result future. Let's call the text extractor from file and call the extract text from file. Let's pass in the file URI as well as the input stream. Finally, we can use the result future that we got and call the then accept method. Here we will get the result, which is basically the text that was extracted from the files. And for now we will not do anything, we will just log this so that we can see it in the console. So call D, and here let's give it a tag. So let's call it text extractor result or something, and here let's just pass the result. I think that we are ready to stop and test the application. I will be surprised if this works from the first try, because we have done a lot of things. Okay, plug in your device and click on the run button. Okay, as you can see, the application is running. Let me swipe to the left to see if we have the button. Great, so as you can see, we have the start process button. Let's click on it. You can see that the toast message is showing no files to process. This is great because we didn't click on the plus button. Now, here on Android Studio, you can see that we have the console open. If you go to, so you can see that here we have Logcat. You can click here, just wait for a bit, and here you'll see that you have the phone. Here, remove this, and you can see that we have some information coming. And here, remember that we have used, where is it? We have used this tag, so we can just copy it and paste it here to see, just to see the messages coming or the values coming for this tag. Okay, so let me click on the plus button. First, I will start just by searching for a text file. Then I will just do the same thing for a PDF file, and finally we will do multiple files. Okay, so here is a text file. I will select it and click on the start process button. You can see that the button is disabled, and here you can see that inside Android Studio I have the value. So this is what I have inside that text file. And here you can see that we have a problem. We forgot to show the button. So here in the main activity, you can see that here when we finish, so basically when we finish extracting the text, we need to set enabled to true. Okay, so let me run the application one more time to fix this problem. Okay, so right now we'll test a PDF file. So here I have uploaded this one. So if I click on it, it will tell me that the file was already added. If I click on the Start Process button, here you can see that I'm getting an error, rejecting re-initting. So here we are getting a warning. Because I forgot to tell you that with PDFBox, so the Apache library that we are using to extract text from PDF files, needs to be initialized. So this is how we do it. So just go to the instantiate objects method and use this PDF resource loader class to instantiate the library. Now let's rerun the application. And here let's use the tag that we have used before. Here let me just clear everything so that we start from scratch to see the text inside the PDF file and not what we extracted from the text file. Okay, so the application is running one more time. Let me click on this PDF file, click on Start Process, and as you can see, so here we have the text coming from the PDF file. Awesome. So now let me just upload in, let's say, this PDF file. So now we have two PDF files, and let's just add this text file. Okay, so now we have 3 files. When I click on the Start Process button, you can see that here is the text that we are getting. Awesome. So it seems that everything is working. Great. Perfect. So as I told you, this didn't work from the first time, but luckily the fixes were not that hard to do. I think that we are ready to stop. We arrived at the end of this episode. In the next one, we will work on the right navigation drawer. I will show you how to add the file names dynamically and how to remove them from that right navigation drawer. So stay tuned.